Starmen Podcast.
Hello and welcome to a Starman Debates. I'm your host, Devin. With me is Billy, Cody, and David.
Hey, everybody.
Woo! Greetings to everyone.
And guys, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about the silent protagonist. ... Cue 5 minutes of silence. But more importantly, we're going to look at, does the silent protagonist only work in video games?
It somewhat works in TVs and movies. It just depends on the character.
Yeah. You know, I also think of it too, silent movies.
Yeah. So, the first thing we gotta look at is, there was a time when we had silent movies.
Yeah.
Where no one talked.
Nope.
But, to combat this, didn't we have little title card
Yeah.
screens? So technically, people did talk. So there wasn't really a silent protagonist in that sense. But, we have other comedy characters like Charlie Chaplin,
Yeah.
who never talked and there was never any subtitle for him.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just all through his actions,
Yeah.
and that's where the comedy came from.
Yeah, same with, I don't know which one of the Marx Brothers. One's like Zippo, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah. Like, he never talked.
Yeah. But, does it only work in comedy now? Can we do like a live action movie where the main character doesn't talk?
Interesting.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I know I think there has been a few.
Yeah. If we could find examples, that'd be great, but
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything. So, a lot of people are now scratching their heads, what do they mean by silent protagonist?
Yeah.
So let's get the definition out of the way. Anyone looked up this?
I did not.
Well, at least you're honest.
Regale us, Devin.
So, I did a little quick research on this. The silent protagonist is basically just a character, usually the main character, of some sort of story or media, who just either doesn't talk or only talks through a series of grunts and other non-verbal way of communication.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein is a good example.
Yeah.
Because all he did is moan and groan, but you knew what he was
yeah.
talking about.
Like, he talked in the second one, but...
Yeah. But in the broken English way.
Oh, yeah.
But that's even then, that's not a silent protagonist. But his first movie, yes, he was. But he wasn't a protagonist. Would you call him a protagonist or an antagonist? He was the monster.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Because yes, we can have the silent villain. That works really well because
Yeah.
that makes things menacing.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So, what are some examples of silent protagonists? Just to get that out of the way too.
In any genre?
In any genre. We're going to probably hear a lot of video game characters.
Snoopy.
Stoopy is a silent character. Wouldn't say he's the protagonist, but in some movies he is.
Depends on your point of view.
Depends on your point of view. That's another thing we're going to have to take into consideration. Samus, until we get to Mother M.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Mother M.
Link.
Yeah.
The list for video game characters can go on and on.
Pink Panther.
The Pink Panther. That's
Yeah.
another good one. And not the TV show, but Garfield. No, wait. No, am I not going to? Early Garfield was silent, and then they gave him a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dumbo.
Really?
Yeah, Dumbo the elephant. He didn't really talk.
Okay. I have not seen Dumbo. I thought you did talk.
Yeah.
No, that was that weird puppet show.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Dumbo Circus,
Circus.
we'll not get into that, but holy crap, that's a trip and a half if you want to do some
You know what? I don't want to know.
No, you don't.
So, I was only the three of us who had to suffer through that show.
Yeah.
I'm glad for
Not
that.
say suffer. As a kid, I enjoyed it. A little kid.
I was too old at the time to
Yeah.
enjoy it. I'll be fairly honest, but yeah, I can see where, as a little kid, that was a show. From My Little Pony, Derpy Hooves is a silent character.
Interesting.
Was for a few seasons, then they finally gave her a voice, which... actually, I'll backtrack. Final Scratch is a silent character.
Okay.
I thought she communicated in headbanging.
She did. She communicated through wubs.
Oh, Lord. Mario.
Early Mario.
Yeah, early Mario.
So, a lot of the early video games we can't really count because back then we didn't have voice acting
Yeah, so-
to give them a voice.
So that's not fair.
That's not fair because that means every video game character up until the era of voice acting was technically a mute character.
Okay.
Though now I want to do a ROM hack where Mario actually has a voice in the original Mario Bros. Just to annoy people. Woohoo! Here we go! Just start of every stage. Here we go! Alright, so why do we have mute characters? What is the point of not having our protagonists talk?
Intrigue, maybe?
It gives them an air of mystery.
Yeah.
You kind of can't always pin exactly what they're thinking. And in terms of video game, when you are playing the protagonist, it allows you to fill in the gaps with your own dialogue.
Yeah.
So when a character NPC like tells you to do something, and in your head you're like, "No, frig you, bitch," then that's what your character in real life would be, or in the game would be saying if you
Yeah.
had that option. But you don't because he's a mute. So in his head, you're the voice in his head.
Wow.
So that's one way of getting immersion out of a game, is
Yeah.
to make the character silent. Another way that's more of a realistic way is it cuts down on actual costs. You don't have to hire a voice actor
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what I
or
was thinking.
animate mouth movement.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't want to pay people to do this, so...
Mouth animation is extensive work, so
Yeah.
and then to sync it up with a voice,
Yeah,
that's
no, that is costly.
it's going to get costly.
Yeah.
And then for an extensive game where it's like a role-playing game or anything, to have so many dialogue options, that's so much time and effort too.
Yeah. Yep, that is true.
So those are the two practical reasons in my mind.
And the most likely.
Well, it is the most likely.
Yeah.
So let's flip the coin and let's look at movies. And we're going to take characters and mute them and see how the movie changes.
Jay.
There you
Yeah.
go. Just change that around.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't say Silent Bob.
Well,
He is technically a mute character up until that one moment in the movie.
Yeah,
where he
that's why I
talks,
wasn't sure. I'm like, well, he does have those 1 or 2 moments in the movie.
where he does talk, and
Yeah.
that's kind of his joke. Is like, I'm a mute character until there's that one moment or
Yeah.
a few moments where I do talk.
Yeah. Like, no ticket.
Yeah. Even so, that's a minor
Yeah.
dialogue, but when he gives it the
Mm,
philosophical
the
speech,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, you bastard does this all the time. He thinks just because he doesn't speak, what he does is going to have a huge impact.
yeah. Why is he called Silent Bob anyway?
Well,
But yeah, if we want to analyze. We already did Stand Silent Bob as a
Oh, yeah.
series on this, but we want to analyze. Yeah, Silent Bob is a silent protagonist.
Wow.
probably one of the best silent protagonists.
One of my favorites. Technically, Vern in The Ernest.
Ooh, yeah, like he's...
He's technically you, the cameraman.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, no. Good thinking.
Yeah, thanks. Just follow that right now.
Yeah.
Alright, so back to our experiment. Let's take some characters and we're going to mute them. So, throw me a character and I'm going to mute them and we're going to see where they go.
Okay, Wayne.
Wayne from Wayne's
Wayne's
World? Yeah, try getting through Wayne's World with Wayne silent.
I know, right? Like, I don't think you get awful. Like, I don't think Garth can carry the load by himself.
No, they play off each other, and if Wayne's not giving out anything to play off of, Garth is no good.
Yeah.
Not to say Garth doesn't do his own,
Oh
but
no.
it's when there's a dynamic, you need both.
Yeah, like,
People.
The characters like have that chemistry. You know, you can't just silence one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happens if we silence both?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Body language becomes very important.
Body language and reaction
Yeah.
becomes
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could possibly pull it off.
It would be a weird movie to watch,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Because we're not changing the plot or anything in
No.
the movie, we're just silencing the characters.
Yeah.
Interesting concept.
Anyone else want to throw a character at us?
Let's go John McClane from Die Hard.
Okay. Bill, you're going to have to help me out on this one. I
Yeah,
don't know
this-
Die Hard enough. to-
Yeah, you just saw one movie.
Yeah.
I meant from just that one movie.
It wouldn't work because he
No.
does a lot of radio communication.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all good one-liners.
Yeah. Well, one-liners aren't
Yeah.
really a thing, but
Well, and for that action movie, yeah.
yes.
It's kind of,
That's what sells it.
yeah, that's what he's
Yeah.
known for those movies.
Yeah. But I think we could have wrote, if we silenced him, we can write around the one-liners.
Yeah, true.
But it is, the movie would fall flat because,
Yeah, like he's always on the radio now, and
yeah. The communication is gone and then the movie falls apart.
yeah.
Alright, let's put, I want to say Batman. Let's throw Batman out.
Mhm.
Or the Joker.
Okay, we can't silence the Joker. That would be really awkward for Batman.
Yeah.
I know, that's why I said.
I'm like, man, if I was Batman, I'd just so kick ass.
Yeah, it doesn't change it. Can
No.
we have a silent Batman?
Yeah.
You can communicate through punches.
Because there are, like, the Tim Burton Batmans, for the most part, he's silent when he's doing those takedowns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There are a few times where he speaks, but not much.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say, possibly we could probably work Batman into a silent protagonist role.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
yeah.
really hurt the movie.
Yeah, that is true.
Alright, let's pick a hero who does talk a lot. Spider-Man.
I was gonna think Spider-Man for a Marvel or Deadpool,
Like, that was
Yeah.
the other one.
but I think we all know Deadpool being quiet would be so awkward and.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, if that had happened, I'd be like, I want my money back.
So I'm assuming you haven't seen
So,
X-Men
yeah,
Wolverine
he does-
Origins.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to X-Men. That one.
Yep, I have.
It's okay.
It was
Okay.
weird.
It's alright. Just fixing the timeline.
So, yeah. So we already know what happens when we mute Deadpool. So let's look at Spider-Man. And there's so many Spider-Man universes. I dare say there is one where he is a mute.
Probably. Or there's some Spider-Man
Yeah,
that's mute.
but yeah, a lot of Spider-Man's appeal is his quick wit and taunts as he's fighting the foe.
Yeah.
And if he's just silent when doing it, I don't think it would work.
No, it really wouldn't. It'd be such a bore fest.
I'd be like, huh.
And that's not getting into the inner monologues he always does.
Yeah. We'll get into that another topic. Can a silent protagonist have inner monologues?
Oh, God.
And still be considered a silent protagonist? In my mind, technically, yes.
Right.
Because they're not saying anything out loud. They're just thinking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, before we wrap this up, I found a list of silent characters.
Alright, you want to run a few characters off that list?
Alright. Mr. Bean.
We actually brought this up earlier, but we kind of forgot. But Mr. Bean is a silent protagonist.
Yeah.
Again, a comedic silent protagonist.
Yeah.
There just seems to be an appeal for a silent character.
Now from antagonists, we got Michael Myers and Jason.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We'll be looking at antagonist ones another time,
Oh, yeah.
so let's cross them off the list.
So let's see. Wally, Gromitz, kind of Maggie Simpson.
I'll put her in the list.
Pluto.
Yep.
Tomcat.
Yep.
Thing.
And his friend Jerry.
Yep.
Oh, thing.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yep.
Wow.
Maybe something bother you. Pink Panther. Got their name. Woodstock. Jerry Mouse.
Yep. So Tom, Jerry.
Dopey.
Yep.
Dumbo.
Yep.
Tinkerbell.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Harpo. Marx was the one I was thinking of.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to see if I can narrow down your list. Any that are not comedic relief or comedy related.
Yes.
Go on.
Oh no,
Yes,
more.
Willie.
Oh no, more. Oh, I meant more on the list.
Yeah.
Those are some video game characters that were coming up.
Okay. Just whenever you get to one name.
Master Chief.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Gordon Freeman.
Master Chief does talk though. It may not be the first game. I think in the second one he does get a voice though.
Then Claude Speed from Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yep. All right, let's narrow the list down further. No video game characters. He might be a while, folks.
I don't know.
Can't go if you want.
Strongbow, Elf Quest. I'm not sure what the hell that.
Oh, that's Elf Quest. It's like a comic, I believe.
Yeah.
I know stuff. How about the new kid from the South Park games?
Again, we're not looking at video games.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So,
Yeah, the Haitian from Heroes. Odd Job. So
that's a villain, though.
yeah.
So, I think I stumped you guys.
There.
So, if it's outside comedy and video games, we don't see a lot of silent characters.
No,
Wall-E.
not really.
Yeah. Wall-E is one of the exceptions.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is kind of difficult to write for a mute character.
You would think it isn't because it's a mute character.
Yeah.
But you got the problem with having a main character that's a mute is you do have characters that interact and have to bounce off the reactions of the character,
Yep.
and it's very hard to do when your character doesn't respond with any words.
That is true.
So as we wrap this up, I think we can just come to the conclusion that the silent protagonist only works if you need it for comedy relief or in a video game as a main protagonist.
Yeah, because I mean, like some of the other characters, like Edward Scissorhands, was mostly a silent protagonist through most of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you found another one, did you?
Yeah.
So, final thoughts on this topic.
I mean, it can work.
So, you think it can work?
Yeah, depending on like the situation.
The situation. Cody?
Yeah, like Billy said, it can work, but I feel it's mostly used for comedy and video games, though.
Yeah.
Sadly, I find it something of a lost art. It was more common back in the past, but as we go forward, we seem to need more characters with dialogue.
I'm on the same page with you, Dave. I think it's a dying art that
Yeah.
we don't have as many mute characters or silent characters because people want that interaction and they need that speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, with that, though, that'll be our episode. I'm Devin.
Billy, dig it.
Cody, peace out.
David, see you later.
Have a good one, guys.